makes home internet priority for T-Mobile. That's not happening. Not happening, bro. We could hope, but it's not. It's not happening. Doubt it seriously. Guys, do me a solid. Help out the SMT. Rate this video and share this video. That's what helps. Actively engage with the content. You feel me? Send me an email. I'll have to check it out, man. Nothing yet, Dusty. We're just getting started, man. Welcome to the show. All right, so we got Verizon news for you. We got AT&T news for you. We even got T-Mobile news for you tonight. But first, listen, you guys want to help out the SMT. It's pretty simple. All right. There's lots of ways to do it. The likes, the shares. If you're new, subscribe. Turn on the bell notification icon so you don't miss an upload. But if you really want to help, the way that you help your creators is by giving them direct support. That might mean buying me a coffee. Link in the description. You guys know I love to stay caffeinated and motivated, right? There's other things too. There's Venmo, PayPal. There's ways to support us when you can, if you can, right? So all that's there. If you appreciate the live streams, if you appreciate the commentary videos, the testing, you know, the device reviews, facilitating all that stuff takes time and investment, which I don't mind doing at all. It's a labor of love. I love my channel. I love my YouTube channel. I love my YouTube community. But it gets more and more fiscally challenging to operate with all of those things. So we definitely rely on supports. So that's one way you could do it. Also, if you're looking to try a new service, if you want a really good deal on wireless, you can get it from our wireless partner, Mint Mobile. The partner link in the description will help you unlock savings. In fact, to be even more specific, you're going to get yourself a great deal because they just increased the data allotments on all their plans. So check it out, right? They just increased the 4 gig plan to 5 gigs, the 15 gig plan from 10 gigs. All their plans got upgraded. They left pricing the same, just added more data. So I know a lot of people are pretty bummed out that the T-Mobile pricing for their new Go 5G plans increased and they lost a lot of value compared to Magenta. No problem. Switch to Mint, get the T-Mobile network, but get it at a better value. You know? And you're getting great customer care, which, by the way, we're going to talk about T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T customer care. It's all regressed. But Mint's got great customer care, right? So check them out. The link in the description will help you unlock savings. You'll also be helping out the channel. All right. Without further ado, what I got to do is I actually started writing down the timestamps. And actually, guys, if you want to help out the SMT, any of my mods or any of my members or anybody, actually anybody who's watching, go into the comment section of the video and create the timestamps for me. Use the minute marker and put in the topic. Then I can just copy and paste it into the show notes. That makes my life so much easier. I just copy and paste it. I put it into the description and it does the timestamps. So that would be huge. So mark 13 minutes or whatever, and that's going to be the Google Fiber story, right? And the first part will be the intro and all that. That would be huge. All right. And just in case, I'm going to mark it down too. So 13 minutes. The Google Fiber. I just wrote it down. But yeah, go ahead and do that for me. Just do it in the comment section and I'll get to it. All right, great. Okay. All right, so Google Fiber launches in another Utah city, seeks 20 gig testers in other markets. Holy crap, man. Look, I got 1 gig fiber, folks, and straight up, it's been great. I've never thought to myself, man, I need more gigs. And we're talking about speed here. We're not talking about total data usage. 20 gig down. I don't even know what I would do with it. I'll tell you guys the way that my fiber works for what I do is I upload video. I've got, a few TVs. I got some devices connected. We got the surveillance. I mean, I got usage. There's a reason I have the gig service, but really it's about the uplink. But YouTube servers, when I upload content, max out at like 500 meg. I think that's how the Microsoft servers are too when I do like Xbox game downloads and stuff like that. I don't even really get the full gig. Most of the time. I think maybe sometimes my Google Drive does. Maybe. And that's sometimes. Like, it depends on the time of the day or the evening. So I don't know, man. But it's incredible. For anybody who can use this, and it's pretty awesome. All right, let's see what this is about here. Google Fiber officially says they've signed a license agreement with the city of Logan, Utah. Allows the company to begin the planning process to deploy a fiber broadband network there. The company also said it is looking for organizations to test 20 gig service. So to me, that sounds more like business oriented, right? So like high capacity fiber needs, server based businesses, stuff like that. I guess I could see probably maybe some video recording services, right? Video footage, stuff like that. Could probably use it. Construction in Logan expected to begin this year. Google Fiber expects the service to be on in 2024. All right, so Utah and Idaho peoples rejoice. Google Fiber hitting it big in those regions. So Google's been testing 20 gig fiber at the University of Missouri, Kansas City School of Science and Engineering. They've been using it to work with big data sets and to make virtual reality less virtual and more reality. You are so funny, Nick Saporito, head of multi-gig and commercial product for Google Fiber, in a separate blog post. You gotta laugh like frickin' Popeye on that one. The man said that Google Fiber is looking for 8 businesses, nonprofits, and educational institutions in Austin, Huntsville, Raleigh-Durham, Salt Lake City to help test 20 gig service. The 20 gig service expected to be useful to organizations that download or upload massive data sets, conducts research that needs significantly more bandwidth. So to me, that basically says if you found yourself needing more than 1 gig and you're just like, man, I wish I had 20 gigs, they want you testing it. And working on future focused technologies that need lots of bandwidth. So lots of bandwidth needs. If you guys know anybody in these markets that's looking for this, hit up Google Fiber. All right, organizations meeting those qualifications are encouraged to contact Google Fiber via an online form. It's linked here in the article. Google Fiber already offers 5 and 8 gig service, so they're just going to be increasing capacity on the circuits. You know what, Christopher? I do have a Patreon page. That link is in the description. Consider joining our community there. Get all types of goodies and extra access. All right, folks, 20 gig fiber from Google Fiber. And you know they're going to sell it for the best deal in the business. We've seen Google offer the best pricing when it comes to fiber. Cheaper than AT&T fiber, cheaper than anything Spectrum or Comcast or any of the cable operators offer their services. Cheaper than Frontier. Cheaper than Municipal sometimes. Yeah, man. Yeah, so Jason says Frontier Internet has 5 gig for $300. I'm pretty sure that the 5 gig for Google Fiber is like $110 or something, if I remember correctly, or $120. My 1 gig from AT&T is $80. I think a step up to 2 gig puts me over $110 or $120. Thanks, Kazi. Appreciate you sharing the Patreon link. And then I think they got the 5 gigs like $180. And then the 10 gigs like $300 or something. I don't know. Man, Google Fiber is doing big things. We just need Google Fiber in more places. Right? So it's good to see them increasing capacity circuits, but we really just want them in more places. So in more parts of Utah, in more parts of Idaho, I want them in Ohio. Man, I would love if Google Fiber came by the SMT HQ or the bakery. That would be sweet. All right. This next story, what did I want to do? I think it was this one. Here it is. And this one, we're going to start this one. Where are we? 19 minutes. The Verizon story. 19 minutes. Okay. Verizon's new wireless plans get mixed reviews. I could have told you that was coming. And actually, you know what I want to do? I actually want to hear from you guys. And what I want to hear, and I'm going to make a poll so you guys can vote on it actually. Let's see here if I can remember how to make a poll. Yep, I sure can make a poll. All right, let's phrase the question in the live chat. Let's see if you guys feel like the Verizon plans have some good in them. Do the new Verizon Wireless Unlimited plans, and of course you would obviously have to know what those plans are, right? Have anything positive? Have anything positive in them, right? So basically I'm saying, is it all bad or is there some good in it? So I'm going to go ahead and ask the community, and you guys can vote on that. It'll be in the live chat, so just go ahead and pop down and you guys can vote on tonight's poll, and then we'll look at the results. Just made it. You guys can access it there in the live chat. All right, Verizon's new wireless plans get mixed reviews. Let's see what Monica Alvin has to say. Fierce Wireless. The writing's been on the wall for months. Verizon has been steadily losing customers to rivals. They had to do something. New price plans announced on Tuesday. Is it going to save the company? Get them out of the doldrums. The Consumer Group CEO, Somanarian Sampath, I hope I said that right, said this is a next-generation plan that fundamentally changes how wireless is bought in the country today. So basically he's saying that Verizon is a trailblazer and a trendsetter with their plans. We said, you know what? We are going to give them 100% of all three of them. And we came up with my plan. All right. Verizon's new plans give customers the choice of one or two network options. You get the basic or advanced, what they call unlimited welcome, which is their entry-level plan, $65 for a line. The multi-line pricing does decrease the pricing, so it gets better, but that's just the one-line cost. The Unlimited Plus, which is their advanced plan, their premium plan, gives you access to their 5G UW, right? So a much more, premium network experience, plus you get tethering and hotspot, which you don't get on the entry plan, right? Those types of things. Anyways, you guys can check it out, right? But what you're doing is you're going to have to pay for each add-on that you want from the entertainment side. Disney Plus, Apple TV, Walmart Plus, all those things that Verizon used to include with Get More. Now they're going to be, make customers pay $10 each. Which some of the add-ons you can save, because some of the add-ons are $17. Normally, if you buy directly from the provider of the service. So you go from 17 to 10, so you could save money. And some of them are 15, right? So instead of 15, you pay 10. So there's ways to save money, especially if you only use like one perk, right? So there's ways to do this. So mixed reviews, right? Industry analyst Avi Greengart, president of Texponential, said Verizon's new plans are unique. Everyone is offering a bundle of services, but Verizon is letting you pick and choose and change exactly what you're getting in your bundle every month. Is it a better deal? That depends. The fact that Verizon is allowing so much customization means that in some cases you'll be paying Verizon more, in some cases you might be paying them less. However, you're more likely to want the services that are on your bill than in the past. I think that's pretty accurate. I think that's the basic premise of this offer. So T-Mobile just changed their plans. They took value away from Magenta and Magenta MAX. They put the value onto the new plans. They raised the pricing on those plans by like $5 or $10 a line. So that's what they did. And then they pushed the whole we'll get freed from AT&T, unlock your phone, and we'll save you from the grips of their 3-year lock-ins because of the phone deal. Greengart said that Verizon has been negotiating with content companies for years to build mix and match and then plus play. My plan perk deals are likely a beneficiary of that groundwork. Some of the perks are better deals than others. The Apple and Disney deals are quite strong. Walmart Plus is less expensive on a monthly basis, but it can be purchased for less if you buy the $98 annual subscription direct from Walmart. All right, so that's good for customers to know. T-Mobile CFO Peter Osvaldik didn't have a lot to say about Verizon's new plans other than good luck to them. So he's basically saying the customer is not going to respond. Well, the truth is that T-Mobile doesn't have the partner relationships that Verizon does. So even if T-Mobile wanted to, they couldn't pull this off. They don't have those relationships. I mean, they pay full price for Netflix. And they've been using the Netflix service for years. All right, now let's get to this next part. ARPA, average revenue per account. And then also the term net add accretive. Here's what the statement was from the CEO of Verizon Consumer Group. He said, this is ARPA accretive. That means it's going to add revenue to the customer account. So let's say that at a customer account right now, I don't know what the number is. Let's just call it $150. They're basically saying that you're going to see an increase, $155, $160. I don't know if that's what it is. Don't quote me. I'm just using arbitrary numbers just to kind of set reference. All right, so completely arbitrary. Let's say it was $150 a month for ARPA. Let's say they're trying to move people up 155, 160 over millions of accounts. That's big, right? Verizon believes that this new structure and this new plan is ARPA accretive over time. They're framing it in the scope of simplicity. This is from Bill Ho, 556 Ventures. You got two major plans you could choose from. You could tweak every month at will. Kind of the ultimate choice, but for a lot of people, it's a chore unless you're really engaged in that every month. By the way, folks, not everybody's going to take to this. There are some people who literally want to be told what their options are, like plan A, plan B, plan C, whatever. There are some customers who are not going to be into this. Unless you give them like a sheet like you do when you make tacos, when you go to the taco joint, and it's like check all the things you want on your tacos, then maybe they could do it. Now, net add accretive, that basically says it's going to help them garner new customers. Okay, so put this on your list. Put this on your list, folks. May 17th, 2023. Verizon said this was going to be ARPA accretive and net add accretive. And then we'll come back in 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters and we'll see if that's the case. They said that the last setup was going to be net add accretive, and it really wasn't. Verizon hasn't really grown at all. They've helped cable grow. Oh, man. See, the trouble here is why did Verizon do this? Why did Verizon change plans? Why did Verizon restructure everything? Because Verizon has a lot of debt, people. Verizon has $150 billion in debt. And the structure of their last plans wasn't working. Or was it the marketing or whatever? It wasn't hitting, right? So when things aren't working, you try something new, you try something different. That's what they're doing. What they're doing in giving people control and what they're doing in giving people choices is what makes it unique. AT&T can't do that. T-Mobile can't do that. Verizon can. The question is does the consumer want this? This is what we need to find out. Does the customer want those choices? How many of the choices do they take? That's going to be what Verizon is going to hang their hat on in this. I don't even know how to make a prediction. I don't know if it's going to show this quarter because we're halfway through Q2. April, May, and June is Q2. So we got a half a quarter of this plan or plans. So basically, April, May, June, and then we'll have a full quarter July, August, September, and then a full quarter October, November, December to round out the year where we can evaluate their growth. What do you guys think? Do you think Verizon is going to report momentum in Q2 in the back end of the quarter? All right. I mean, typically when Verizon adds customers, it's not because of the plans. When Verizon adds customers, it's when they're active in promotional activity. When they give good trade-ins. When they give good iPhone deals. The plans haven't mattered. the plans are what they are. You get people with phone upgrades. And when you chill back on the phone upgrades, the numbers slow down. But the thing is you become more profitable when you don't become hyperactive in promotions, because it's expensive to get customers on phone deals. We shall see, folks. All right, so I asked the question in the live chat. We got 52 votes. Do the new Verizon Unlimited plans have anything positive in them? Do I even want to vote? Should I vote on my own poll? I don't know, man. I don't know if I should. All right, let's go ahead and put in here. Let's see what the SMT Nation has to say. All right, vote is closed. We had like 50 some votes. Do the Verizon Unlimited plans have anything positive in them? 63% of you said no. 36% said yes. Man, you guys are being tough. There's some good in there. But you guys are definitely negative on the Verizon plans. I could definitely get those vibes. Oof. But the SMT Nation has spoken. All right, next story, and we're at the 30-minute mark. Good stuff. 30-minute mark. And we're talking AT&T. AT&T leads in mobile customer satisfaction. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up. Everybody used to talk so much smack about AT&T customer care. Messing up accounts. People would say that they couldn't fix their troubles. They didn't want to deal with overseas reps and all this. AT&T now leads in mobile customer satisfaction? What? No way. But I thought T-Mobile was the best customer care. I thought it was T-Force. What's happening? I'm surprised, man. I did not think AT&T was going to lead. I just think that T-Mobile has regressed, and Verizon is literally the worst in the industry, so like AT&T is just the winner by default. They're the less shitty of them all. All right, let's read on. All right, this is a report at a telecompetitor. AT&T had the highest satisfaction score among mobile network operators in the latest wireless consumer satisfaction report from the American Consumer Satisfaction Index, ACSI. AT&T had a score of 75 on a 100-point scale, a bit higher than the industry average of 74. T-Mobile had 74, Verizon at 73, US Cellular at 70. So US Cellular is basically trash. Verizon 73, T-Mobile 74. So they're actually pretty close. Yeah, so the fact that none of them are over 80 is kind of concerning, right? It's kind of weird. We can't do better than 80 on a score of 1 to 1 up to 100. Consumers are a tad more satisfied with their wireless service than they were last year. Last year's average score was 1% higher than the score for 2022. AT&T and Verizon both scored 80 for call quality and reliability, for network coverage and data speed. T-Mobile scored 78 in those categories. US Cellular scored 74 for call quality reliability, 73 for network coverage and data speed. All right, let's talk MVNOs. The report looked at various subgroups. Satisfaction with full-service mobile virtual network operators increased 1% to 74. Value MVNOs raised 3% to 77. Customer satisfaction with cell phones stayed at 79. Cricket Wireless went unchanged. Metro by T-Mobile up 3%, led the full-service MVNO category at 76. Spectrum next at 75. Xfinity Mobile slipping 3% to 74. Boost Mobile last at 71. Boost Mobile got problems, folks. I don't even know if this counts the whole February-March debacle. I have no idea. Consumer Cellular led the value MVNO category, as well as all carriers with a score of 82. So really, if you want to improve your performances on stuff like this, just do what Consumer Cellular is doing, apparently. The score was reached due to a 5% increase. Haha, Guess who frickin' broke the list, people? Mint Mobile. They scored 79 in its debut on the list. Can we talk about Mint Mobile, people? I've been telling you guys, use our partner link. Try Mint Mobile. They've got these great deals on their wireless plans, plus you're getting a top-rated customer care team. You can't lose, people. Link in the description. Like how I did that. Straight Talk Wireless rose 1% to 77. Google Fi also debuted with a score of 76. TracFone scored 76. Walmart Family Mobile 74. Simple Mobile sank 4% to score 70. Simple Mobile tanking? Sheesh. The report looks at the nexus of cost and satisfaction. The most dissatisfied customers spend between $251 and $500 per month. The least loyal spend between $151 and $250 per month. So the thrifty customer, the hardest to please. The report was based on almost 16,000 randomly chosen wireless customers conducted between April 22 and March 2023. And here's the source. Okay. I don't know, folks. AT&T showing growth. Mint Mobile being GOAT. Metro doing good things. We got our first super chat of the night, people. This one from Daryl. Is there any information about Verizon updated prices for military for their new plans? I haven't seen anything specific about military, Daryl. But if I can get around to it, if maybe I can find out, I'll do a follow-up video. I'll throw it on the next podcast for you. I got you, bro. I'll see if I can find that information for you. Because usually what ends up happening is the military plan just gets a discount. So it's not a unique plan. It's usually just a discount. I think military is what? 15, 20, 25% off, something like that. I don't know if it's active military or retired military get different rates, but I do remember it being a discount and not a unique plan. If Verizon keeps that structure the same. If it's different, I'm definitely going to update it for sure. Thanks for the super chat, bud. All right, we got 99 viewers. Let's get those likes up, people. All right, we are at the 37-minute mark. And what are we talking next? Dish needing an extension on the deadline? Oh, man. I don't like the sound of this, people. You know I'm a big supporter of Dish, and I want them to do well. I don't like the sound of this. All right, so this one is from Dano, light reading. Dish Network may start looking for a way to delay its 5G network build-out requirements. Oh, my God. No. I don't want this. I do not want Dish getting an extension for building out the network. I'll explain later. Let me get through the facts on this. Okay. According to financial analysts at Wells Fargo, we believe the most likely path forward for Dish near term is to negotiate an extension on the 2025 FCC coverage requirement after meeting its June 2023 deadline. A 1 to 2 year extension would enable Dish to conserve, or at least delay, $2 to $3 billion of capital spending that would give it more runway to grow its consumer and enterprise subscriber base while leveraging T-Mobile and AT&T's wholesale agreements for coverage. No. No. Added the analysts. The FCC also has a vested interest in making sure Dish remains a going concern. Not only would a Dish bankruptcy or liquidation be a major black eye for the FCC, which auctioned over $30 billion to Dish, it would also eliminate the fourth carrier which the FCC desired as a condition of the Sprint T-Mobile merger. They just wanted Dish to build a damn network. They had been squatting on spectrum that they rightfully acquired in auction. They did it right, but they never built out the network. Dish officials declined to speculate on the topic. Right now, we're focusing on our 70% milestone coming in June 23. We'll share more around the time when that comes. So we'll get the next update on their network build. Oh my God, I don't want this. Folks, the DOJ has been going through it with Dish. Dish has been a dumpster fire. There's been nothing but problems there. The ransomware issue in February and March, the problems with dealers, the problems with customers and credits, and oh my God, the troubles with T-Mobile, renegotiating deals with AT&T. All right, but anyways, with respect to the network, they're probably going to hit the 70% of the U.S. pops with their 600 megahertz spectrum in June. I think they're going to hit it. I think they said they had to get to like 15 or 16,000 cell towers to get there. They've got construction on 18,000 now, so they're probably going to get there just fine. Right now, Dish can't even afford the 800 megahertz spectrum that they're trying to buy from Dish. That was, or from T-Mobile. That was a part of the divesting of T-Mobile and Sprint. So that Sprint spectrum, they don't have the $2 to $3 billion for that spectrum. $3 billion, whatever. So the extension could actually allow them, you know, to get the extension would allow them to maybe focus on retail and start selling the service better in stores. Appreciate it, Al. Thank you, man. Welcome to the community. Appreciate the support. Newest member. And he went with the highest one, the mmWave, man. All types of access. Appreciate it. According to New Street research analyst Blair Levin, officials at the FCC might be open to granting Dish a waiver for the 2025 coverage targets. I think the FCC would swallow hard. But at the end of the day, grant it. Oh my God. No. All right, look. That was the report. That's the article. Time to get in Sneed mode. All right. I don't want Dish getting an extension. I'm going to tell you why. Dish did things for many years, namely spectrum squatting and procrastinating. I don't want them getting an extension. If you can't build the network fast enough, that's on you. If you get fined, eat up those fines, pay those fines, it's on you. We live in a world where people have to be accountable. I don't care if it's people in their personal life. I don't care if it's people in their professional life. I don't care if it's corporations. You must be held accountable. You gave your word. You signed agreements. You bullshitted for a decade and did nothing, right? And now they might be looking at an extension. I get what the FCC's position would be. I get what the DOJ's position would be. We just want to get them going. We just want a fourth carrier. But they haven't shown promise. The network build, I'm encouraged by, and I respect that. The thing I don't like is the way that they're not doing anything properly with retail. And they are clearly fumbling Boost Mobile. So I'm mixed. I'm mixed feelings on Dish because of those things. And you guys know I've been a very firm supporter of Dish from the beginning. I wanted to see them succeed. People told me I was crazy. Why am I supporting them? Because I wanted to see a successful fourth carrier, something better than Sprint would have offered us. We haven't seen that yet. At least we could say with Sprint they had a retail footprint. And at least we could say they had like a somewhat decent regional network. In the markets where they had the budgeting, they seemed to know how to build a decent 5G network, you know, right at the end before the merger. But the problem is this is a slippery slope, you know, and yes, Dish needs the help and they need the support. But there's been a lot of things that have happened between then and now that really turns me off with respect to granting them extensions. Look, when something is late, and this is something I tell my students as an educator, there's a penalty to turn it in late. Okay, you can have some credit, but there is a penalty for not fulfilling the parts of the agreement. I would just make them pay the fines. If you can't reach it, that's your business. Secure more money, secure more capital. You know, get Dish to finance all your business. I don't know. But it's a slippery slope when you let them off the hook. And that's one of the things that I've always questioned about the FCC was, where's the teeth? And the DOJ, where's the teeth? No, Daniel, it's not that I want to see Dish fail. Like I said, I want to see Dish strong, but man, they've really dropped the ball. And the one thing we know about Dish, and this is actually, let me rephrase this. It's not Dish so much as it is their president, Charlie Ergen. If you give him a fingernail, he'll take your entire arm. If you give him 1 inch, he will take 3 yards. He is vicious, right? He's a shrewd operator. He will get away with whatever he can and some. And he's always trying to leverage the next best deal, and he'll always try to weasel his way out of stuff. He's thrifty. He's shifty. Sneaky, maybe. I mean, he's savvy. But he's all those things, and he's also problematic, and he's difficult. You know, and he's made magic happen with his company. You know, Dish and all that stuff. They've found success. They've made a lot of money over the years. But we need him as a wireless carrier that's competent. We have not seen that yet. They don't have a retail presence. Okay, so Daniel, let me ask you this, man. If there was something right now that's good about what's going on with Dish, what would you say it is? What could we hang our hat on and say, man, Dish is doing a really nice job of this? The only thing I could say is I think they're going to hit their 70% pops by June 2023, which, by the way, folks, it's just a few weeks away. I'm going to give them their props on that. I think they get it, and I'm very proud of them, and I'm happy they've done it. But retail, train wreck. Dealer operations with Boost Mobile, dumpster fire. And those are things that we need them to execute on. They haven't done anything to help our economy. They haven't done anything to push the industry moving forward. They haven't done anything to increase their revenues or profits or margins, right? So I'll give them the network piece respect where it's due. Call a spade a spade. But the rest of it's rough, man. Big shout out to MS with the super chat. He said Charlie has squatted on Spectrum for too long. He has. And now he has to get active. Now he's got to do something. He's got to show and prove. All right, and as promised, the T-Mobile news, and we're right around the 47-minute mark. Good stuff. This would be the T-Mobile story. Okay. Advertising watchdog intervenes again on T-Mobile Home Internet, this time in T-Mobile's favor. Yeah, so basically what this article is kind of doing with the title is T-Mobile's kind of been slapped on the hand by the NAD, the National Advertising Division of the Better Business Bureau, for basically the last couple of years. The problem with T-Mobile is they've got really, really, descriptive claims, and they've, been exaggerating. It's all part of their marketing campaign. They border on lying, and that's welcome to corporate America, where you actually don't have to tell the truth. But if you lie, and you lie in the name of corporations, corporate, in business, it's all good. So they've been slapped on the hands a couple of times. Looks like they're on the winning side, and this has to do with T-Mobile Home Internet. So the NAD recommends that Comcast drop and modify some claims it made about T-Mobile's fixed wireless offering known as T-Mobile Home Internet. The recommendation came in response to a request from T-Mobile. The recommendation relates to an ad for Comcast Xfinity service labeled Nocturnal, which suggests that T-Mobile Home Internet may become unstable during the day. According to the NAD, that claim is not supported, and the watchdog organization recommends that Comcast Cable Communications Management discontinues 2 claims. One claim was, everyone is online during the day, so we lose speeds. The other, well, if you just switch, maybe you don't have to be vampires. I don't know if you guys have seen those advertisements, those commercials, But I call them the vampire commercials, where the family has become vampires because the claim is that you can really only properly enjoy and use the T-Mobile home internet at night when nobody's on the cellular network, right? It's a shared network access. Mobile network users, fixed wireless access T-Mobile home internet users, because it's a shared network access, things get crappy during the day. That's what they're saying. Which, by the way, if we're being technical, this can happen. They're not saying that it can't happen or it doesn't happen. But when you make these claims in your advertisement, you're saying it absolutely is going to happen when you use it. And of course, that's not the case, right? The NAD recommendation came just weeks after the advertising watchdog intervened in a different dispute involving T-Mobile home internet and Comcast. In that dispute, Comcast and Charter challenged T-Mobile home internet ads, arguing that they implied stronger performance than the service actually provided. The NAD agreed. The new NAD recommendation in large part turns the tables on Comcast. Okay, so here's what the NAD recommended to Comcast to discontinue all the claims from that commercial. Okay. There's a lot of stuff. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Daily periods of congestion on T-Mobile's network last until 2 a.m. Okay, that's crazy. Anybody ever been on the T-Mobile home internet and it was congested until 2 a.m.? Dude, no way. Most mobile traffic is like done after like 7, 8 p.m., right? It really starts to kind of fall back right around that time. So 2 a.m. seems exaggerated. All right, let's look at the next one. T-Mobile is not sufficiently fast or reliable to be used during daytime hours. That's not true. There are some really highly capacitive T-Mobile tower sites where people can definitely use the home internet anytime during the day. I mean, I've tested dozens of T-Mobile tower sites in the middle of the day and gotten 600-700 megabits per second down. So, disagree with that one. Next. T-Mobile home internet customers need to switch to Xfinity in order to access reliably fast internet service during the day. I mean, I don't even think Xfinity is all that great. So to say that you got to have Xfinity to have reliable service, hell no. Because your boy got AT&T fiber and it's good. Next. T-Mobile's order of prioritization of mobile customers materially renders T-Mobile home internet unusable except in the dead of night. Again, this is a claim that can't be proven. And it's going to be extremely situational. Most of the time, what T-Mobile does is they take the excess capacity on the network and they monetize it through T-Mobile home internet. So they're going to sell someone T-Mobile home internet if the network can handle it at that particular tower site. Even more specific, guys, there's 3 sectors to a tower site, right? There's a sector facing here, a sector facing here, and a sector facing, like the other side. So you got these 3 sides to the tower. Each one is different, has a different load. So even T-Mobile knows that they can sell T-Mobile home internet to a different number of people on each side of the tower. Maybe it's northwest, southeast, and all of that. It's just, this is, they're trying to poo-poo on T-Mobile's parade, man. Last one. As a general matter, slower speeds under certain conditions described in T-Mobile's disclaimers and disclosures reflect typical consumer experience using T-Mobile home internet. Oh my God. That's so messed up on so many levels. All right, Comcast, I see what you did. So what Comcast did is they basically said the terms of service where they put the little disclaimer at the end where it says your bottom tier priority on the T-Mobile network. That's basically what it's going to be. It's going to be awful forever. Man, Comcast came for blood, man. But see, here's why Comcast did this. The reason why Comcast did this is because T-Mobile's been throwing shade at cable for years. So this is just a get back. Yo, T-Mobile was throwing jabs and Big Cable's throwing haymakers right back at them, right? Another Xfinity ad to which T-Mobile objected is labeled birdwatchers. NAD found that while Comcast did not demonstrate that online gaming uses T-Mobile Home Internet would be impacted by latency on the T-Mobile network, there is evidence that lag could be an issue for some gamers. This, NAD found, supported the claim that T-Mobile fixed home internet customers experience 2 to 4 times the latency of wired internet customers. This can be quantified. This can be tested. This can be confirmed. That's why the NAD said what they said. All right, let's see. There's more. Oh, my God. Since not all gaming would be affected, let's see what it says here. All right. Since all gaming would not be affected on the T-Mobile Home Internet, NAD recommends that Xfinity drops the claims. T-Mobile Home Internet lags and it throws the whole thing off. Getting Xfinity is the adult thing to do. I haven't even seen these ads. Internet issues, if only they had Xfinity. Okay. So they recommend changing it to T-Mobile Home Internet lags too much to be useful for gaming. T-Mobile Home Internet customers need to switch to Xfinity in order to enjoy gaming. All right, so those are the 2 implied claims. Oh, my God. First of all, I hate big cable companies. I love that T-Mobile is disrupting them, so that's great. The back and forth bickering has gotten ridiculous, and it's kind of gotten annoying. What do you guys think? Hey, the truth is that T-Mobile is taking Xfinity customers because they offer one thing so simple that big cable just refuses to accept. Explosive pricing. Literally, all big cable has to do is start charging for internet service the same way T-Mobile does, which is a fair price that doesn't explode after a year. If Xfinity had national pricing, let's say it's $60 for 500 megabit downlink and 20 megabit uplink, 30 megabit uplink. And that was the everyday price. And it never went up and it never went down and it never changed. No promotions, no balloon pricing. If they just did that, they would get to keep their customers. But no, they won't do it. So guess who takes their customers? T-Mobile and even Verizon. Big cable just refuses to comply. Bums. Bums indeed. All right, so there you guys have it. That's the show for the evening. We had the Verizon piece. We had the AT&T piece. We had the T-Mobile piece. We covered a lot, didn't we, folks? We did good tonight. Hey, first time here. Maybe the YouTube algorithm gods put me into your recommended feeds. It's your first time hanging out or watching our content or our live streams. Definitely subscribe. And then turn on the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload. Right? Check out our other communities. If you're looking for more access, you're looking for more videos and more stuff that we do here on the channel. Want some perks? Want some early access? Want some exclusive videos? Want some extra podcasts and live streams not found anywhere else? Check us out on Patreon. The link is in the description. You could also be a YouTube member. Right next to the subscription, where my channel name is, you'll see like a little thing there that says join. Become a member. Get some of those same perks. Don't forget, you guys can buy me a coffee, link in the description, and check out our partner, Mint Mobile. I think that's it. Hit me with your favorite hashtag. Hashtag Mod Squad. Hashtag 2Live Crew. Hashtag Replay Crew. Hashtag Ravioli Gang if you're snacking or eating.